Channel, we love to show what the S&P 500 can do for people if it continues to do what it's been doing for 100 years. We believe in economic cycles, and we believe, yeah, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, but over the long run, if you're going to be in it for a long term, you're going to come out really well with the S&P 500. We usually run it for 35 years, but some people have wanted to know what happens if they only have like 20 or 25 years. So we're going to look at that this morning. We're going to run some figures for a person. He says he has $10,000 and he's 47 years old, and we're going to run it for 20 years. So we want to run some numbers for him. So he asked if we could run it for $500 a month. So we're going to check this out. $500 a month using historical returns for the last 100 years, looking at all the different possibilities. Again, doesn't this depends on what decade you're starting in, what the returns might be, but we're going to figure that the returns are going to be somewhere in this area that's just reasonable to consider, that it's not going to be worse than the Depression or even the 2000s, and it's probably not going to be better than the 1980s and 90s. So let's just look at the numbers here. The worst case scenario was 209,908, and the median would be 463,000. This is again starting with 10,000 and $500 a month. I'm going to do one other thing here. I'm going to increase that by 3% a year because he does have 20 years. He wants to run it at $500 a month, and we want to run it at $500 a month and increase it by 3% a year. The median is now 543,000. He also wanted me to run it for $1,000 a month. We won't do the 3% initially. We'll just do the $1,000 a month to see where that individual might be if the returns are anything like the last 100 years, which we believe on this channel that it's going to be somewhere between these variables. 382,000 and 2,132,000, the median being 844,000. Let's do one other thing. Let's increase that by 3% a year. See if that makes much difference. I think that's going to put this over $1 million, though, just that extra 3% a year. So over the next 20 years, beginning with 10,000, the S&P 500 continues to do what it's been doing for over 100 years. You're going to have somewhere between 465,000 and 2.4 million, with the median being $1 million. And as we said in previous videos, these minimums, you have to be really careful with those, because let me show you what I mean by this. 1950, these are the numbers right here. You're going along here in 1950, putting in $1,000 a month, increasing that by 3% a year. These are the totals right here. 360,000 after 10 years. You can see it right here. After 15 years, 711,000. After 20 years, 1,012,000. But what happens? Then you hit 1973 and 1974. Let me show you the numbers right here. You're going along just fine. In the 24th and 25th year, you go from 1.5 down to 989 because you had two drop years, significant drops of 14 and 26%. But I want you to notice how quickly it came back. The very next year was up by 1.383 million. The whole point of showing you this is oftentimes these minimums, they may be discouraging, but you realize in the next year or two, the market came back, because it always seems to come back after these down years. Here's those down 2 years, look how it came back. These down years, look how it came back. These down years, even in the Depression, look how it came back. If you can be in it for 20 years, 20, 25, 30 years. That's why we like to run these numbers for people. If you want me to run some numbers for you, just put it in the comment section, and I will run them for you. Our channel is called $1 Million Made Easy. We just want to show people what the S&P 500 has been doing for 100 years through all the economic cycles you can dream of, and it just keeps plugging away if you can be in it for the long term. Again, channel is called $1 Million Made Easy. Please consider subscribing. I will run numbers for you. Just put it in the comment section, and please share this with other people. Let's get this information out. These numbers are just incredible. Thanks for watching.